What's going on, guys? It's Coach Bronson here, and today I'm talking with Charles Mattocks, the producer of Reversed, the docuseries that goes over how to use lifestyle interventions to reverse diabetes. There are 2 installments of this series out already. You can find online. He's getting ready to start producing the 3rd installment that is going to be all carnivore based. We're going to have a ton of great people involved, and this conversation is really just about how we got started, what the show's all about, and what you can expect when this installment comes out. All right, so stay tuned, and I'll see you on the flip side. Cool, man. Just wanted to kind of get to know you and share you with my listeners and followers. I remember, I feel like it was forever ago that the last season came out. I'm sure you probably feel like it was forever ago too. I saw that this was happening. I don't know what the time frame is. We can get into all that, but I just want to kind of get your story, what you're doing, why you got this whole thing started, and what it's all about, what you want people to get out of it, all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, the last season, it wasn't that long ago. I mean,
really? Okay.
Yeah, we shot the Costa Rica season, and we used ketogenic and intermittent fasting. That aired, about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
So yeah, that was recent, and that came about because we had a first season that was called Reverse 2 as well, and that was I was very new to my health journey. But what I knew that as a type 2 diabetic, that if I stayed away from carbs and starch and sugar and stuff like that you could do tremendous things for your health. So I really didn't have, I got to be honest, I didn't have a plan on that first.
Okay. So give us a little history. So this is Charles Mattocks. You're the producer of the Reversed series. And so this is the 3rd season, the 4th season, like where is that? Because you said you did 2 seasons before.
Yeah, this is going to go on to the 3rd season.
The 3rd season coming in. Okay.
Yeah. With the first one, and we had nutritionists, we had dietitians, but to be honest, I don't think anybody was really talking when we did that first season. It wasn't a whole lot of keto and carnivore. I didn't know about it.
And that was more just about your journey with type 2 diabetes.
No. What we did is we took 5 people to Jamaica, the same type of premise, and brought in these experts. But once again, because I didn't know about keto or carnivore or I was learning. So sure. I did know that if we did certain things and stayed away from certain things, it could make changes. And they did. They all lost, upwards of 50, 60 pounds a piece, came off medicine. Right. Some did. It varied,
Okay. And when you're doing these things, it's like you're gone for like a week, right? It's not like you're gone like a Biggest Loser where you're gone for 10 weeks and you put into this whole program. So how does that work with I'm assuming they're not losing 50 pounds in just the time you're recording stuff. There's a process before and after.
Yeah. This particular time, the first time, I think we were gone about 10 days. Okay. My thing here is acting up on me here. Yeah, the first time we were gone for probably about 10 days. And then once again, just as far as production, making it more accessible and easier, because you don't want to have doctors going away for 10 days. Right. It's almost impossible that they can, or 8 days or whatever it may be. So now we got it down to 5-6 days type of thing.
Okay.
And even this series will probably go on. It'll be about 5 days of shooting. We'll probably do it over a weekend. But yeah, so like I said, I didn't know a lot, but I knew enough, and it did work. And then season 2 is when I started to educate myself on other things, and I bumped into keto, and ran into. I had reached out to Dr. Ken Berry, a bunch of times, and then I finally said, hey, I've got something for him, and then ran into Maria Emmerich, and then. I did something with Jason Fung in Canada, so reached out to him and said, hey, and it started to come together. So that's how we were able to do this season on carnivore, I mean on keto.
Right.
Had some good partners that came on board and helped make it possible. And then now, obviously, educating myself even more per se, and then looking at the carnivore space and saying,
Yeah.
hey, you know what? It's, let's at least put something out there that can give options to people.
Sure.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be the only option. It doesn't have to be the option you stick with forever. It could be something that you adapt, this and that, whether it's keto or carnivore or low carb, whatever it may be, but at least you have an option.
Right. Yeah. It's funny that you're going through a progression in your knowledge and experience that a lot of people do naturally anyways. They start with, okay, I want to eat healthier. We see a lot of people that start with a paleo or Whole30 kind of thing. And then they kind of find out about keto, they get more keto, then they go carnivore. So that progression that you're going through with the series is actually what a lot of people actually do in their lives. As they get more educated and start realizing what they feel better doing, they always kind of gravitate towards much more animal based. That's kind of cool. So what got you started in this in the first place? Like, outside of just getting into just how do you even get into producing TV shows? That's a whole nother conversation. But just for this type of topic and this kind of information, like, where did that come from?
Well, when I was diagnosed, it's got to be about 12 years ago with type 2 diabetes.
Yeah.
And at this point, I was doing all of these television shows. I had cookbooks, I had sauces, and they were healthy cookbooks, per se. But it was just the whole process of getting diabetes and being diagnosed with it. And just, this doctor who wasn't even my doctor, was like a weekend doctor, saying, based on a finger test, that he can give me medication. And I'm like, something not right.
Yeah.
I mean, shouldn't there be a second opinion here? Shouldn't I go to my own doctor first? So, I did eat, some Chinese food and drink some Kool-Aid, I think, before I got here. I mean, I would think that would probably elevate the blood sugar, a little bit. So, so that's really kind of what got me into the whole wanting to tell my story and be an advocate for diabetes. And I just saw a space where, there wasn't anybody who looked like me who was really doing anything like this. So I said, you know what?
I got you there.
Let me fill this void, And so it just kind of took off to that. It took off. Yeah.
Okay. And so then you did the first one. And that was, I know within the keto space, how much exposure is this getting outside of the keto or diabetes space? Like, I know a lot of the struggle that I have is a lot of the content I put out there is for people that are doing keto, because I want people to understand that, nutrition is part of it, but fitness is a big part of it. You need them both. And I think that's a message that's missing in the keto carnivore space a lot. But there's also a whole group of people. I mean, so many people in the world that aren't in this little community. How is that message getting out there to people that are not just in this space?
It is. And that's, great question, to be honest. That's actually one reason why I actually created the series the way we did. I just totaled up, had Brandy, who works with me, total up the amounts of total viewers and on social media that our guests have. It's over 2.7 million.
Oh, that's awesome.
Dr.
Awesome.
Berry has, almost 1.5, I think. Mm-hmm. And so when we add up, all the rest of the people, it's over 2.7 million followers. So, and one thing that I'm trying to do is, if you ever look at, let's say, music, right? You got singers come together to make the heal the world.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? You have rappers who can come together. You have sports athletes that come together and create the dream team for basketball. But we don't do that in health.
Right.
You might have this doctor doing a podcast or this health person doing a podcast or whatever it may be, but it's not us coming together as a coalition of experts to put this message out there. So I kind of look at this as the dream team, in a sense, where I've been so privileged that, a young brother here who's got an idea of something can call some of these major doctors around the country or around the world and say, hey, I'd love for you to be a part. And they're like, man, sign me up.
Let's do it.
Know? Yeah.
That's
so
one of the things I love about this space is everybody really, they've all got their own businesses. They've all got their things that they've got to do to survive and pay the bills, right? At the same time, everyone's so willing to just jump in and get their hands dirty and just do whatever needs to get done, right? Because we're all passionate about getting the word out and helping people make changes. So I really appreciated that about this community a lot.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. And once again, you can't, when you're passionate about something, you want to get it out to as many people as you can.
Yeah.
You know, you're not worried about, you know, pay per se, you know, I mean, and a lot of these people are already successful. So having a platform like this is like, hey, let me, I'm on board because I want to share this message, and they're not worried about, you know, Charles, are we getting paid, you know, $5,000 a day, or am I going to fly, you know, on the private jet, you know,
and I'm sure that helps you on the production side because you're not too worried about like,
well,
overhead.
it does, because remember, while there are lots of smaller companies in keto and carnivore, you know, these are, a lot of them are mom and pops.
Yeah.
And to create a production, you know, we can't get by on, you know, $3,000 sponsorships, you know what I mean? It takes a lot of sponsorship to add up to, you know, and we're not going for, you know, the big bucks, you know, on these type of shows, but you at least need to make sure you can fly everyone in and, you know, have, you know, accommodation and food.
That'll be a lot easier on this one though, right? A lot less to worry about getting.
Well, one of our sponsors is US Wellness, US Food. So that's a good thing for that. And so they'll help with I'm battling this camera here.
Yeah, it's in and out.
So they will help with some of the meats on that. But no, you're right. Yeah, I mean, because the last season on Carnivore, we had Maria Emmerich, who is truly the best. But man, that shopping bill, because, you know, you're doing keto. But you can get creative on keto. So you can make all kind of, you know, things on keto and you know, so that shopping bill definitely, you know, because you got breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you know.
Yeah, you'll probably be doing 2 meals a day and it's all meat, right? So it's a lot simpler.
A lot simpler, brother. A lot simpler.
That's awesome. So what is the whole purpose? So you've got, what is the message out of these series that you want? Well, first off, how long are the series? How many episodes are the series?
This one, we're going to go probably down to 6 episodes. Last, I think we did 8, and then I think they were both 8, but we're going to go down to 6, only because I think that, you know, number one, as far as production, cost, editing, things like that. Once again, these aren't, you know, big Netflix funded series, you know, because of this, you know, we want to use these to be able to expand and grow and have bigger companies come on board and be able to really market the way we want to and get the word out, so on and so forth. So, you know, I think 6 is fantastic. You know, it'll cover everything that we want covered, the A's to Z's on this particular subject. And it's really, one of the things is to your question is, you know, when I started to look at Carnivore, it was bits and pieces. And what I mean by that is I was like, no, it's Carnivore. These people can't be serious, you know, eating meat all the time. And
every day, man. It's awesome.
You know, but I got bits and pieces. It wasn't until I actually really sat down and started listening and reading and hearing, and I'm like, whoa, okay. So what we want to do with this series is give people the A to Z, so they don't have to get bits and pieces from all over the place. They can understand the role as far as cholesterol. They could understand the role as far as vegetables and fruits. They could understand the science behind this and the science behind eating healthy and how this could be a great option, even if it's for a short period of time. So that's really the messaging, is to be able to put this all in one space, so that if somebody's watching this for the first time, who has never heard of carnivore, interested, they could see and say, okay, now I get it. I saw some other people who did it, and at the end, last episode, have success.
Yeah. Okay.
You know?
Okay. Awesome. Now, where are you finding the people? Who are the people that are doing this? They're just average, normal people, like.
Yeah. It's interesting. I always say, the higher power always brings us the right people, because that at the end of the day, that really matters. You want people who, number one, are ready to make a change, and it has to be. You have, it can't be half in, half out. And if you say, hey, can you come to Costa Rica for 5 days, and they'll I gotta check, and you want folks to say, I'm there. You know what I'm saying? I'll put the kids over here with grandma. I'll quit work for a week, just to get there. So it has to have the right why. And so we don't have the guest yet, we don't have a guest yet per se, but that's okay, because we have time. And once again, it should be one of those things where it happens organically.
Okay.
And something comes, and someone, I mean, trust me, we've gotten, tons of emails with saying, hey, listen, I had my father, I'd love for him to be on the show. And I'd love to be on the show, and so on and so forth. So we're not going to be short of 5 guests.
Gotcha. Okay. Good. Yeah. I'm so glad you said the why has to be there, because that's probably my favorite word. I talk about that. I feel like people are going to get tired of me saying that you need to have a why. You need to know what your why is. You need to dig in for that. But guess what? It's the most important thing. So I'm going to keep talking about it, folks. That's just how it is. Man, I really appreciate you coming on. I know this is really quick, last minute, but I saw your post the other day, and I was like, oh my God, I need to get him on here and just talk about it and put it out. When is this actually happening, and when are you thinking it will be out for people to see it?
Yeah, we're looking at November, December, and I say November, December, because right now in Costa Rica is a rainy season, and it ends in like November. So I don't want to go out there and it's raining every day,
Right.
And then also just between everybody's schedule, so you kind of got to make sure, so if it's late November, but maybe early December, first week or second week of December works best for those folks. Because once again, these are doctors, and we got Dr. Anthony Chafee. He's in Australia right now, even though
it'll take him 2 days just to get there.
Yeah, even though he's ready to go, but it's like you gotta make sure that Maria's actually in Africa on safari right now.
Right.
Ken has a new baby and stuff like that. So you got to make sure that everybody's schedule kind of meshes. So between late November, December, and it's going to be a quick turnaround as far as editing. Probably about 3-4 months of editing, and we'll be able to see it. But yeah.
All right. So mid next year at the latest. That's
good.
Yeah, that's good.
Exactly.
Okay. Cool. Well, we'll keep talking about it as you post stuff. We'll be sharing stuff out. I got to make sure when we get off of here, make sure we trade information. I want to send you a copy of my book.
Oh, wow.
And we'll do we'll talk about some other stuff, but I really appreciate you being on, man. I will get this out there. You can share it out. And, if there's anything you want to talk about or say, anything you want to leave people with as far as the movie, the journey, or the series, the journey, anything else?
I mean, we've been definitely doing these series. I've got a series on cancer, beautiful series called 8 Days. We've got a docu-series right now I'm shooting called Our Bodies, Our Temple, based on the health disparities in the church and in the Black community, but how the role of the church could actually play a role in helping those members. And that's
I like that.
And you could find, I've also got my own network right now. It's called Bloom Wellness Channel, and it's on all the major platforms. And so that's where we're going to be airing to as well. We're probably going to air the first 3 episodes on Ken Berry's YouTube, because Ken gets, some of his videos have upwards of 5 million views.
Right.
So, when we think of now traditional television, and it's really, it can't even compete to all these streaming platforms that we have, right?
For sure.
So, not that I, want to air on YouTube, but because of, the power of social media and so on and so forth, Ken already has a great audience. It's almost makes more sense to air there for the first couple of episodes, and then on our platform too as well. So because we want our platform to be and if you've got content, I'd love to talk to you as well. So we want our platform to be just a place for all health related stuff. And so that's what we're doing.
Okay. Yeah, I'm totally down for that, man. I want to try to get stuff out as much as possible. I feel like I'm in this view of my life with cameras and screens around me all day long, all the time.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it, man. So we'll have all your contact information. I'll put all that stuff in the description and everything, but where's the best place for people to find you?
Yeah, I would say Bella and Ellie Media, BELLAAND ELLE media.com, or just honestly, I'm so easy to be found. All you got to do is Google me and Charles Mattocks, and something will come up,
Gotcha. Okay. Cool, man. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. And we'll definitely have you on as things go. Maybe hop on every couple of months or something. We can get on, get updates about how things are going. Something like that. That'd be cool. Awesome. Thanks a lot, man.
All right, brother.